Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. My name is Eli McIntosh, and today we will be talking about the copyright process. Now, to begin, we need to define exactly what copyright is. So, copyright is a type of intellectual property that protects original works of authorship. So, as soon as an author fixes the work in a tangible form of expression. So, basically, copyright is meant to help protect your work that you make to make sure no one else copies it. So, now I asked some friends to help me out and explain their copyright process.
So the copyright process begins at the song creation. So typically nowadays you'll work with other creators, whether you're providing the lyrics and someone's providing a melody, maybe acoustic guitar or piano, whatever. A lot of times they will own that song. Now, unless you're doing a work for hire deal where you're hiring someone to provide arrangements for you, whether it be musical arrangements or background arrangements, horns, etc., you can do a work for hire agreement and pay them off. So that way, once you get to the copyright process, they're not involved in that at all. You've already paid them their flat fee. However, if they're instrumental in the song creating process, you want to talk about that very early on. Make it clear. What do you want if you create the song with me? What is the percentage? Typically you'll do a 50-50, a third, or it may be less depending on how much they contributed. So all of that needs to be done up front. It's business. Even if it is with a friend or family member, you want to get that stuff done and get it in writing. So you will write agreements and say, this is what this person is agreeing to, and this is how much they will be paid out based on the mechanicals and the performances online or over the radio. So all those things need to be done in writing. Once you get that in writing, then you can go on copyright.gov to register your copyright and make sure that anyone who is owning the song or has a copyright in the song, their names are listed as well as yours.
Now, try not to get copyright confused with licensing because they sound similar, but they're two completely different topics. A valid assignment of copyright must be in writing and signed by or on the behalf of the copyright owner or assigner. In a license of copyrights, the owner maintains his or her copyright ownership rights, but allows another party, the licensee, to exercise some of those rights without the licensee's actions being considered copyright infringement. Now, most people agree that licensing is better, but copyright allows you full rights to your work.
So when it comes to copyrighting an album versus a song, 100% recommend that you go ahead and copyright an album if you are writing an album or getting ready to release an album, because quite frankly, it's more cost efficient. To register a copyright, it is $55 per registration. And so if you have an album with 10 songs, you can do the math. So that racks up pretty quickly, whether you're paying for it or a label is paying for it, or your publishing company is paying for it. However, there are times where you will release a single. And so in order to receive performing rights royalties, you will need to copyright a song. And so if you plan to do a single release before you release the album, yes, you will copyright that song individually, pay that fee. But then when you get ready to do the album, then you will copyright the album as a whole. It'll definitely save you a lot of money and time instead of doing it one by one. That can be very time consuming, putting all that information in. So definitely recommend you doing the album as a whole, or any compiled work as a whole. You can do that through the website. Otherwise, you will need to copyright a song if you're going to release something individually.
Now, everyone is a copyright owner. Once you create an original work and fix it, in like taking a photograph or doing a poem or a blog or even recording a song, you are the author and the owner. So now the question comes to, how can you make sure once you go through the copyright process for your work that no one else is using it? Well, here's how.
So in terms of keeping track of whether or not someone is using your copyrighted works, the easiest and best case scenario is to register with the Performing Rights Organization. So in the copyright law, there are 3 performing rights organizations that are covered. Nowadays, there's more performing rights organizations that are coming out. And so I'm interested in seeing how the copyright law will evolve to reflect those organizations. But those companies, they're the big three are ASCAP, CSAC, and BMI. They track that for you, so they see, you know, when is a radio station playing your song, and when is a concert venue playing your song, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So they keep track of all that. On the mechanical side, you can also hire a firm to do that for you. On the mechanical side, to track, you know, when's it playing on streaming services, or how many times is it being sold. If you're releasing the album or a single, you will have a lot of distribution companies will track those things for you. So if it is playing on YouTube, making sure you're getting credit for that too. So a lot of things now are going to be done online for you. You just sign up for them, pay them a fee to take care of it for you, and then they'll pay you for it. Sometimes it's just a flat fee. So they'll take care of those things for you. If you are independent, you will have to do the work yourself to make sure they track it. Obviously, the big labels, they do a lot more work to make sure that their work is not being stolen or used for other people's benefits. And so, like, of course, like a Beyonce, they're gonna pull that stuff down immediately. They track that stuff quick. But if you are independent, you'll have to do some research yourself, you know, just kind of doing Google searches for your songs, or listening to what's trending and things like that. And if you hear it, then you can go ahead and request that site take it down, or reach out to the people who are profiting off of it, if it's a film, etc. And so there are companies that do it for you, but you also want to do a little bit of your own due diligence to make sure that it's not being used and that you're getting all the money that you deserve.
You see, the copyright process isn't that bad. You see, it seems scary, but it's a very simple process. Copyright laws may change over time, but they still have their objective, protecting the creator's work. Now, I hope this information was very valuable and informative towards you, and you can now go to someone and tell them about this simple process. Until we meet again, take care.